Hello everybody, we're back in Berlin at the Militärhistorisches Museum of the Bundeswehr, Berlin-Gatow, and I'm standing in front of the Heinkel 111. Now, as you might know, this is sort of the primary medium bomber of the Luftwaffe during the Second World War. Yes, they roll out with more modern machines in the end, but they never really find a replacement for the Heinkel, even though they stopped producing it around about 1944. Now, what I want to talk about today is, even though so many of these machines were built, very few actually survive. There's about 3 or 4 left in museums worldwide. I think there's 2 of them in Norway. And most of the ones you actually find in the museum are Spanish casas. And these were of course built by Spain even after the war. Now, I want to show you guys some of the things you might use to identify a Spanish Heinkel 111 to a German Heinkel 111. There's many different little things, but we come to the main point already, it's the engines. Now, the Spanish used in their licensed-produced versions from the 1950s onwards Rolls-Royce engines, the Merlin engine, and you'll see one of the primary changes there is that the radio is actually really up front. It is just below the prop spinner. With the Jumo engines that the Germans used, the radiator would have been sitting further inboard of the actual wing. So that's one of the main changes there. Now the Spanish actually started using the Heinkel 111s with the Spanish Civil War. They used the B-type there. Then in 1943 they received some of the H-16s and a license to produce them with the Construcciones Aeronautico, I think. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but that is CASA essentially. And of course, as the war then progressed and Germany lost, well, they really started having problems getting engines for the Heinkels that they were building. Now they do get replacements from France after the war. They get a couple of Jumo 211s from France. But yeah, the Rolls-Royce engine really is the replacement in eventually. Having a quick look here at the bomb bay, that we can see, of course, one of the distinguishing features of the German bomb bays is that the bombs are mounted vertically. And you can also see inside, we have partitions inside of these boxes. So these boxes could either be used for bigger bombs like 250s or for smaller bombs like 50 kilogram bombs. And then each box would essentially house 4 of those smaller bombs right there, or one of the bigger ones. Now, moving onwards from that, we have the other feature that I would like to talk about. One of the other distinguishing features of the CASAs is in fact that they do not have the Dipole Antenna that would be right here. Now you might have seen images of Heinkel 111s with these weird sort of, it's as if you would be hanging washing off them. There's these little spars that are just hanging off the fuselage. That's the Dipole Antenna for the receiver for the Funklandegerät. That is how you would find your airstrip in case of very bad weather, essentially. The range of those would be roughly 30 kilometers. The Spanish ones seem not to have used this system, so that's why those antennas did not exist. And as we move towards the front again, we actually see quite a striking image right here. This is a facade essentially of one of the houses in Rotterdam that was destroyed during the German bombing there. And moving onwards to the last distinguishing feature of the Spanish Heinkel 111s before we pass essentially Hermann Göring's uniform right there. In the backdrop, of course, you see destroyed Dresden, very striking image once again. But the last distinguishing feature is, if you look all the way on top, you will see a teardropped sort of device. That is the RDF that the Spanish use to find their direction when flying. This is not a feature that you find on the German Heinkel 111s, and neither are the 2 antennas next to it. Roundabout of where the teardrop shape is would be the normal antenna in the German Heinkel. If you look all the way up front on the Spanish one, you also see a little bit of an antenna sticking out there. That is essentially the antenna that was moved from the rear section of the fuselage all the way up front. That would be the same sort of radio used there. So yeah, that's a little excursion. We didn't really have a time to do an inside the cockpit on the Heinkel 111. It's also on stilts, so it wouldn't be really possible to get inside. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little look, this differentiation between the Spanish Heinkel 111s and the German ones. Sadly, we don't really have that many German ones remaining, but hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day, good hunting, and see you in the sky.